Alright, so let's talk about Journey Back to Oz. This movie was released in 1972. It's an animated, you know, Wizard of Oz adaptation, but it's like sort of a sequel to the famous 1930 39 movie. Um, it's anyway. The movie was directed by Hal Hal Sutherland, who worked for Disney for a while, um, and it was released for a company called Filmation, which yeah, I think I've covered some movies they did. I can't remember. Either way, I know this isn't the last one they did. Um, but yeah. So yeah, like I said, it's a follow up of the original Wizard of Oz story. Um, sort of a sequel to the 39 movie, but you know, not necessarily officially. Um, but there are some actors. Yeah, some notable casting choices in this movie are well, the two I'm going to point out that are kind of connected with the casting in the 39 movie. Dorothy is voiced by Liza Minnelli, who is the daughter of Judy Garland, who played her in the 39 movie. Yep, I I think plenty of people should know that already, and also Ani M. Ani M is voiced by Margaret Hamilton, who played the Wicked Witch of the West in the 39 movie. So, yeah. Um, but, yeah. Anyway, I can't say a whole lot about Hamilton's performance. I guess she did alright, but I will say Liza Minnelli was a pretty solid choice, not just because she's Judy Garland's daughter, but she did do a pretty good job replicating Garland's voice in this movie, and yeah, also she was a really good singer. Uh, you know, I mean, most of the people in this movie are, so yeah. Um, so yeah, the plot is, it's I guess a year or two after the events of the 39 movie, or the original story. Um, Uncle Henry sees another storm of brewing. So, they're they get ready to go inside, but clearly Dorothy hasn't learned from last time. So, yeah, she stays outside and sings a song about how much she misses Oz. Um, so, but yeah, maybe overall that's why she stayed outside. Deep down, she wanted to get blown away by another tornado. So yeah, she returns to Oz, and yeah, she there's kind of a somewhat pointless scene with a what is it? Signpost played by Jack E. Leonard. I don't even know who most of these people are, but but I don't know. I guess they wanted to give him a part in this, and yeah, whatever. The signpost is kind of amusing because he has three signs that all point to um, Emerald City, but so yeah, and he says that, or yeah, it's some Wonderland-esque logic about how most signposts only have like one sign pointing somewhere, but he's doing people a favor by having three of them. Yeah, some crap like that. But anyway, I don't know. It's an amusing little gag, but he also gets a song, which I will say the songs are kind of the best and worst part of this movie. I think they're overall quite solid and they're well performed and everything. They're well composed, pretty well written. But you know, they tend to stop the movie pretty much, most of them at least. Yeah, there's kind of a few too many of them, and yeah, they really slow down the movie whenever somebody breaks into song. But anyway, so yeah, Dorothy runs into Pumpkinhead. So yeah, that's he is a character from the books. He also appears in Return to Oz, which comes out a little over a decade after this one. Um, yeah, I'm sure plenty of people heard of that one. It's probably the only legitimately solid Wizard of Oz movie besides the 39 one. Um, but yeah, so yeah, Pumpkinhead is a servant running away from his mistress, Mombi, who is another character who would later appear in Return to Oz. By the way, both of the movies are completely separate. They're both kind of like, yeah, they're both kind of supposed to be follow-ups to the 39 movie, but yeah, they're both completely separate timelines. Otherwise, Dorothy would know them in Return to Oz. Um, but yeah, so in this movie, Mombi isn't a creepy headless lady who collects other ladies' heads. Um, in this movie, she's a generic witch. She's pretty much a ripoff of the Wicked Witch of the West, and yeah, and she's voiced by Ethel Merman, who pretty much steals the whole movie with her performance in this. I will say, yeah, Ethel Merman is able to ham it up, and she's clearly having fun with the role, and she's also still one hell of a singer at 60 something. She's like practically a senior citizen, and she's still got quite the pipes. Um, Also, Pumpkinhead is voiced by Paul Lind. Um, I don't know much about him. Apparently, he was in Bewitched. Um, but his voice sounds pretty familiar. I wouldn't be surprised if there's like been a lot of cartoons where somebody like impersonated him, like how cartoons have like characters that they're like what's the word, they're kind of like caricatures of a celebrity, and yeah, it's like the voice actors impersonating the celebrity through this character that has like nothing to do with them. Anyway, so yeah, Mombi kidnaps Dorothy for a bit, but then Pumpkinhead saves her, and then they also run into this pink horse named Woodenhead Stallion the Third. Yeah. Um, and yeah, he's basically his character arc is he's looking for a job, basically. He just, yeah, he just ran away from a job as a carousel horse. Um, yeah. Uh, so yeah, together they and Toto. Let's not forget Toto. I haven't brought up Toto yet, but Toto's still there. But yeah, together they all head over to Emerald City, and they meet with the Scarecrow, who's the king there, and I can't quite remember if the 39 movie ends with the Scarecrow becoming king of Emerald City. Oh yeah, I guess when the wizard flew away in the balloon, he appointed him as the new ruler. So yeah, I guess so. Um, because I noticed that Dorothy knew already that he's the king. Yeah, I guess I just forgot that little detail from the famous iconic movie that everybody knows pretty much by heart by now. Um, so yeah, so they try to enlist the Scarecrow's help, but then he gets kidnapped by Mombi and her army of green elephants. So yeah, we have pink elephants and now we got green elephants. Which one's worse? I'm not sure. um, so yeah, they now have to save the Scarecrow, and oh yeah, Toto gets captured too. So yeah, they gotta save Toto and the Scarecrow. So they try to enlist the help of the Tin Man down at what was it, Tin? What was it? Was it Tinland or something? Um, but it turns out the Tin Man is too much of a coward, and he's not willing to face off with a bunch of green elephants in order to save his friend, who, together they braved you know, a wicked witch and her army of flying monkeys and soldiers and all that. But green elephants, that's where he draws the line, I guess. Yeah, so suddenly he's a complete coward and he's not willing to save his friend. He's too much of a coward. So, yeah. So he tells Dorothy and the others to meet with the Cowardly Lion, who, of course, is also a coward, even though a major arc of the original story was him overcoming his cowardice and, becoming brave, but turns out he's about as much of a coward as ever. So, yeah, it's some friends, huh? Not willing to save their old friend from. I mean, it's not that much more dangerous than before, is it? What they did in the first story, it's yeah, pretty lousy character writing. Yeah, yeah, I really don't like how they just cower away from fighting the bad guys. So um, and then the good witch, Glinda, she appears, and Dorothy tries to ask for her help, but she's a coward too. Nah, maybe not, but she does say that she's not powerful enough to stop Mombi, so um, yeah, she's kind of a coward. But yeah, she tells Dorothy to find the strength from within or some crap like that. Yeah, that's basically her way of excusing herself from fighting the enemies, just like the Tin Man and Lion. Yeah. Did I mention this movie is really dumb? um. So yeah, she gives them this little box that they can't open until they reach the Emerald City, and they find themselves in some kind of pickle, you know. So they head to the Emerald City. They get attacked by all the elephants, and then they open the box, and there's like a bunch of mice inside, and they scare away the elephants. Um, and then they fight Mombi, and yeah, that's about it. And then afterwards, the Scarecrow, rewards, you know, uh, Pumpkinhead is now, or yeah, both Pumpkinhead and the horse now have jobs, and after another drawn-out song, Dorothy returns home through, Glinda magically making a tornado appear, and yeah, because she doesn't have the ruby slippers this time. Um, uh, and that's about it. She returns to the farm, and yep. So it's a pretty dumb story. But I guess the music's pretty good. I do think the songs are a little overabundant, and they drag you know, they slow the movie to a crawl, and yeah, they just gotta fill that hour and a half runtime. Um, yeah, yeah, they pad out the time quite a bit, but otherwise, I think the songs are good. The singers are also really good, especially Liza Minnelli and Ethel Merman. Um, actually, I'd probably say the real highlight of the movie are just the performers in general, all of the voice actors and stuff, and their singing, of course. But yeah, yeah. So besides Minnelli, Merman, and Hamilton, who I already brought up, and Lind, we got Mickey Rooney as the Scarecrow, Danny Thomas as the Tin Man. I don't know who that is, but and Milton Berle as the Lion. Now, I will say, all three of those guys, put their all into the performances, but it is jarring how much they don't sound like the characters, because while I would say they're not necessarily the same characters from the 39 version, in fact, they are definitely different characters from the 39 version, but, um, you know, since it felt like a follow up to that, and Dorothy manages to sound a lot like she did in the 39 movie, I was expecting, you know, the voice actors for those three characters to sound more like they did in the 39 movie. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't say that Mickey Rooney sounds like what's his name, Ray Bolger, but and yeah, none of those voices match. Neither does what's her name, Rise Stevens as Glinda, and Glinda looks completely different and everything. But whatever. I think the voice actors did fine with what they were given. Regardless of how little they sounded like the original characters, or the characters from the 39 movie. Can't say original because it's based on a book. There's no definitive version of the characters, despite the 39 movie pretty much being the Wizard of Oz movies. Wizard of Oz movie. So who else is in here? Mel Blanc voices the Crow, who's Mombi's pet. Thought I'd bring that up. Mel Blanc is always great. So yeah, overall, I'd say the voice actors did really good. The animation was alright. It wasn't amazing or anything, but, you know, definitely not Disney level, but I don't know. I guess as far as early 70s movies go, it was fine. Um, but yeah, otherwise, the story was just really dumb. That's the only. Yeah, that's what brings it down. The story and, the clumsy character writing, Dorothy not learning to just stay inside when there's a tornado coming, or the Tin Man and Lion being complete cowards, and yeah, after what they did in the previous story, yeah, just really, really rubs me the wrong way. But I don't know. It's otherwise a pretty harmless movie, and can't say I dislike it or anything, but it's not a movie I really care to see again. I will say I have spent all these years, and I've never heard of this little would-be sequel. I thought I knew all the major Wizard of Oz movies, but I guess I was wrong. But I suppose there's a reason I'd never really heard of this one. It's pretty forgettable, but I guess it's not the worst Wizard of Oz adaptation, but still, there's definitely, I'd probably even say a small handful of them that are better, even ones that aren't really that good. But anyway, how long have I been going on? Over 20 minutes? Yeah. Anyway, I give this movie a 5 out of 10, I guess. It's, yeah, like I said, I don't dislike it, but yeah, definitely wouldn't say I like it either. And it's got some glaring flaws in it. If you're a Wizard of Oz fan, I probably wouldn't recommend it, but I don't know. I guess it would be okay if you checked it out if you're that curious, but still, it's not a good follow up to the 39 movie or a good substitute to to Return to Oz. Those are still pretty much the only two legitimately good Wizard of Oz movies. So yeah, if you're a fan of Wizard of Oz, just watch those two movies. I mean, I guess there's also the okay Wizard of Oz adaptations, Tin Man from 2007, or I'd even say that Oz the Great and Powerful movie with James Franco is okay. But, yeah. Otherwise, yeah, 39 version and Return to Oz. Those are pretty much the only two legitimately good ones. So, yeah. If there's anything else I need to add, I'll put it in the comments. And for now, I'll just leave it at that. Mash it and smash it signing off.